thing about juggling is that it makes you a great puzzle solver. Come on. Oh, you can do it. Yes, I did it! Oh, thank God. Whew. Oh, come on! So close. Like, seriously, every juggling trick is a little puzzle in disguise that you have to solve. Like, for each trick you have to figure out how, where, and when to throw every single ball. And sometimes it's a long process, and you start to go a little crazy and ask yourself questions like, what if I throw the second ball higher? Or when do I need to throw the red ball so that the white one doesn't hit me in the face? Oh, jeez, this is not how I wanted balls to be hitting me in the face. Jeez Louise. So the trick that's the puzzle that I'm currently working on is 5-ball Mills Mess, which is a trick that is harder than stretching mosquitoes' hole over a wagon wheel. Thank you to my great-grandma Jean for that awesome analogy. So to put in perspective how hard this trick is, this here is 3-ball Mills Mess. This is used as a reference in the juggling community for how good you are at juggling. Literally, anytime you meet somebody new who doesn't know that you juggle, or you mention that you juggle, they'll ask, hey, do you know Mills Mess? And of course, I always reply, who's Mills and why are they so messy? Then they usually back away slowly before sprinting away, which I find peculiar. So anyway, you've already seen 3-ball Mills Mess, which is this one here. But here is 4-ball Mills Mess. So you can see it's a little bit harder. And of course, everybody's favorite, 5-ball Mills Mess. Here we go. 3, 2, and we've hit the ceiling. You know, I don't think you're quite getting the picture about how hard this is. Let me get some help. Look at this insanity. It's just like a mix of balls everywhere. Like, how do they not smack into each other? Like, they all look like they're hitting each other in this thing, so how am I supposed to not do that in real life? Now, I have been working on and off on 5-ball Mills Mess for years now, and as you can tell, I still haven't gotten it. And I like to blame that on the fact that it's a really hard 5-ball trick that requires higher ceilings than I usually have, but it's also probably because I'm lazy and forget to practice, but that's not the point of the video. Oh. So yes, it's a trick that requires a slightly higher ceiling than I had to work with in Canada, and a much higher ceiling than the one I have right now, because I can literally touch it. That's too short of a ceiling. Good thing I have claustrophobia, not claustrophobia. Who said that? Now, I am privileged to have an awesomely high ceiling training space to warm up for shows in each day, but the problem is whenever I actually want to film in there, they're playing copyrighted music. And not only will anything I film in there get demonetized, but it's all show tunes, and there's only a certain amount of that I can take before I literally lose my mind, and there isn't a lot left to lose. So we gotta hold on to what I've got. So we're stuck with this. Yay! So yeah, I'm stuck with it kind of like how I'm sure most of you other fellow jugglers are stuck with adequate ceiling heights for normal human function, but unacceptable heights for juggling function. So let's fix that. Yoop. Go outside. Like, outside is a great option because you can throw it as high as you want, unless of course you hit escape velocity. Or, you know, if it's raining, or if it's too cold, or if it's too hot, or if it's windy like it is right now. Okay, maybe it's not the best option, but it is the cheapest and most accessible option. Only juggling extremely low. So, for example, here is my 5-ball cascade. You can even do some low juggling tricks like this one here. The only problem is you can never learn any new tricks because you already have to be good at them to do them this low. Oh, darn it! Only juggle 4 balls? Again, you can only work on tricks you already know, but hey, at least you're training them, right? Oh, no! Oh, damn it! Ceilings. Only juggle 3 balls, and never try to learn anything new ever again. Of course, I am just kidding, and we've actually made it to my first real suggestion, which is to juggle harder, but lower numbered tricks. So, essentially, this is not the ceiling height to be learning 7 balls. If anything, it's barely 4, and when you try to learn 7 balls at this height, what you're doing is you're rushing to get them all into the air, and you're not working on technique, so all you're learning is bad habits and bad technique, which takes much longer to unlearn than it takes to learn. So, what you should be doing is taking a step back, relaxing, and working on much more intricate, maybe harder, but definitely lower juggling tricks. So, for example, 3-ball tricks. Like, there are some really insane ones that I still can't do, but here's a few that I can do, like Rubinstein's Revenge. It's quite fun. Of course, you can even do something like Burke's Barrage. It's beautiful. Or even something a little bit easier, like The Machine, or even Inverted Shower, which is much harder, but looks almost the same. Or, of course, my favorite, chops. And to make it even more complicated, you can always go into stuff like penguin catches that go into other tricks, working on different patterns, bounces, or even cracking the egg. And, of course, my favorite, magic. And yeah, just work on easier, or harder, lower tricks. Embrace the ceiling? Okay. Oh, okay. Come here, you. Okay, fine. Not like that. That's definitely not what I mean by embrace the ceiling. What I actually mean is try bouncing stuff off of it. You can do it with walls too, but it makes a cool noise. You can do a drum beat. Makes for tricks a little bit more interesting, a little bit faster, and of course walls are much easier, and I would suggest that infinitely more, but embrace the ceiling. Knees? Yep, knees. Knees are great. I use them all the time when I'm on a live stream and trying to perform 7 balls. All you gotta do is you gotta get down on both knees just like this, and boom, you've got an extra 1.5 feet of height to juggle. Just make sure you get a yoga mat or something, because ow, my knees hurt. Oh my goodness. Alright, here we go. 7 balls. It's been a long time. But I do believe that the double knee technique is the best option because it gives you the most height and range of motion with the arms. But there are some other techniques you can use. For example, laying down, which gives you a lot more height, but much less range of motion. And it's really scary if they hit you in the face. 2 out of 10. Sitting down. This one here gives you slightly less height and a lot less range of motion, but it is much easier to do, so 4 out of 10. Sumo stance. Even less height, but slightly more range of motion. 5 out of 10. Lunge. Great stretch. Hard to balance, though. 3 out of 10. Downward dog. Great stretch, but how am I supposed to juggle here? Like, with my butt? That almost worked. Still a 0 out of 10, though. Start searching for a training space with a higher ceiling. Now, this won't work for everybody, or even necessarily be necessary for most people, but if you've somehow managed to defy your parents' expectations and made juggling your real job, firstly, congratulations, and secondly, it might be worth investing in a space with a higher ceiling that actually fulfills all your training needs. So the cheapest option, obviously, is outdoors, which is great, but you have to deal with weather literally all the time. It's always outside. And which makes it unpredictable, so you can't always be training when you need to. But obviously the best option would be an actual circus training space, because then it's easier to collab and learn stuff from other circus artists. But if you're like me and you live in a smaller town and not a major city, yeah, that's way too far away to make it reasonable to go to. So I've seen people juggle in pickleball courts, I think, climbing gyms, regular gyms, people named gym. Okay, maybe not the last one, but literally any kind of space, like schools, halls, I don't know, banquet halls maybe, without the tables. There's so many places that you can find to juggle. So yes, my advice is to scout out places with high ceilings and ask how much it is to rent it out for maybe an hour, or just part of it for an hour. Or make friends with the owners and just ask if you can juggle there. That works too. It's much more cost effective. Worst they can say is no, and best case scenario is you have a new awesome place to juggle, train, and film in. So it's, I guess, lose-win? If you lose? I'm confused. Yeah, the rhymes have losed, though. So yes, there are my solutions to the puzzle, which is jugglers afflicted with a low ceiling. And of course, if you're not a juggler and happen to be blessed with a high ceiling, try donating your high ceiling to a local juggler today. They will very much appreciate it. And of course, if you have come up with some creative solutions of your own to juggling of a low ceiling, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know which ones I've missed or just didn't come up with myself. And if anything, I hope you're a little bit entertained and very much inspired to juggle, because that's the best part of juggling, is no matter what the limitations are, no matter what the ceiling height is, you can always come up with or create something new. So, thank you for joining me on this endeavor. Happy juggling, and I'll see you at some point in the near future.